Hello and welcome to the program Guest of the Week on Husky TV and FM. I am Christiana Babayo and I'll be hosting this program. On this program, we go beyond the surface. We sit with most inspiring minds in our society. We look into their lives. They share their experiences, their perspectives, as well as the challenges they encountered on their journeys. And today, we have the privilege of having one of the most inspiring persons we have in Taraba State University, an accomplished academic and a thought leader. We are pleased to bring on the program Dr. Atando Dauda Abu. Well, before we start, our viewers would like to know you on a deeper level, more than what I have already said.
Okay. Just like you said, my name is Dr. Atando Dauda Abu, the present Dean of Student Affairs, Taraba State University. I lecture in the Department of History and Diplomatic Studies, and I am an associate professor of social history. Thank you.
Okay, you've stopped where we need to pick up immediately. Can you tell us a bit about your academic journey? Because it must have taken a lot for you to move from just being a lecturer to an associate professor.
Yes, if I may say, my movement from primary school to where I am today, let me just give you a brief. I started my primary education in 1983, and then I went to secondary school in 1989, and then I finished my secondary school in 1994, went to Adamawa State Polytechnic in Yola to do IJMB for 1 year, that's 95-96, and then during the 1997-98 academic session of University of Maiduguri, I got admitted to read history. So from there, I graduated in 2001 with a first degree. In 2012, I got my master's degree in history from Benue State University, and in 2017, I got my PhD in history, also from Benue State University. And so all through, like you have said, before rising to this associate professor as a rank in the university, I started as a graduate assistant in 2010, and then I grew through the ranks to where I am today. I became an associate professor in 2022. So now, today is my 3rd year. By 1st October this year, I'll be 3 years in this rank of associate professor.
That's a very interesting one. But I cannot help but think that there are other areas that you may have also excelled. Why did you pick an interest to pursue higher education?
Yeah, it's a good question. Actually, I think I didn't even start in the university. I started, my first employment was in a secondary school, 2003. Government job, actually, government secondary school, Kari. I was a teacher, like it's a calling, if I may say, because if you check my background, you see that I enjoy explaining things more than any other thing as far as I'm concerned. Now, in 2006, November precisely, I left the teaching job and then went for Federal Safety Corps. I was commissioned as a one-star officer on the 14th of February 2007. Okay? So I worked in road safety between 2007 to 2010 when I left, and then came back to the university to come and lecture. In this case now, they call it lecturing ahead. But I want to say that if you ask me to compare being a road safety officer and being a lecturer in the class, I enjoyed lecturing more than what I was doing as a road safety officer, even though it was all about saving lives. But then I like to mold character more than the saving of life. Yeah.
Well, that is also interesting. But before you got to the rank of an associate professor, you must have encountered some challenges along the way, because from a graduate assistant rising to the rank of an associate professor, I can imagine that so many things happened within that period. Could you share some of those challenges and how you were able to surmount them as well?
It's okay. It's yeah. There is no growth that doesn't come with challenges. That one is it's obvious. When we were employed, I could remember vividly Professor Talla, Professor Rishanti. They were telling us on daily basis, you publish or you perish. It's like instilling fear in you that you have to be up and do it. And you know, in the academics, like in the university, if you're a lecturer, our promotion comes with publication. You must publish certain number of articles in acceptable journals before you can get your promotion to the next rank. Now, if we talk about challenges, even to get the article written, you know, it's a hard task. You have to go out to look for information. If you don't have money to do it, it's a case. Even publishing it I think the least journal that you can get your article published, I mean, the amount should not be less than 30,000 naira. So you can imagine a young person like me trying to feed, trying to take care of his family, and then to get promotion, I have to publish. So this is one of the challenges that I faced while growing. Now, another challenge is this. You see, in this academic job that we are, there is this thing that there are some people that were there before you, and if you are not careful, some of them want to match you. They want to intimidate you. Like even in the professorial rank that you are seeing, we have senior professors and junior professors. So somehow the human will come in one of the professors and say, look at this small child. Is it because? In fact, I can give you an example. In this Taraba State University, one elderly woman once told us, wait for your time. These small children, wait for your time. We're all lecturers. That was when I was a graduate assistant. And some of my colleagues can testify that they told us to wait for our time. And by the grace of God, the time has come.
Well, you are Dean Student Affairs currently in the university.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that even as Dean, you still lecture.
Yes.
And you still do your research because you need to, get to the rank of professor eventually. You said the promotion comes with publications.
Yeah.
So how do you balance teaching, research, and administrative duties?
It's very tedious. Thank God I am getting my own at this young age. I thank God that it is not going to come when I am already 60 or 55 before I will start getting all this joining research with administration and all that. But it's very tedious. But I want to tell you that because of the determination that I have and because of the joy I get in doing my work, I come into the office here where I come into my office as Dean Student Affairs in the morning. And then when I take care of what I have on my table, I connect with the hall officers in the hostels. If there are no issues, then I move out to go for my lectures. Look, I teach undergraduate, I teach postgraduate. And then the research, that one, it's a daily thing. Sometimes in the night, like I'll wake up 2 a.m. It's becoming a daily thing. By 2 a.m., I'm already awake. And so I'll be, touching this one, touching these books here and there, try to check what is on the internet and all this. So, as it is, I enjoy doing it because I'm still having that. I mean, I'm still young. The age is still on my side. Okay? Uh-huh.
You are indeed young, and I believe now is the right time to get some of these things done. Yeah. Now, since we're already on the aspect of you being a Dean Student Affairs, how do you relate with the students, particularly when it comes to certain policies that you're trying to bring about in the school environment? Now, I'll be very specific on this one. Recently, there was a circular saying that the Senate has banned sign-out ceremonies in the university. And then I know also part of those reforms were the introduction of uniforms in the school environment, which a lot of students didn't find very interested. How have you been able to manage enforcing some of these policies and still being on the good side of the students? Because as Dean, you are like the father.
Yeah, the students, just like jokingly, sometimes they used to say, "001," like as I'm just the one, I'm representing the vice chancellor in looking after the students, but the students, sometimes they take me as their own more than the management. And I also, as a dean of students, try to see that when policies of the university, whether they are taken by the Senate, just like the sign out, the ban on sign out, or the departmental issues. You see this uniform that you talked about, they are departmental approvals. Like for instance, in mass communication, because of the profession, the department has come up with the idea that, look, we want to see our students look this way even before they go out to the outside world. So they have to try and see how they will enforce it on students. Like, I give you an example. When I was in secondary school, we like breaking bounds by wearing slippers. It's an offense in secondary school where I attended Federal Government College Ukari to wear slippers to school. But then, we wear slippers. And so they try to force us to use sandals so that when we grow, now if you tell me to wear slippers to office now, I'll just look at you as if you don't know what you are saying, and nobody is forcing me to wear it again. Do you understand? So the uniforms in the department is also like that. Like somebody who is aspiring to be a diplomat, he or she has to learn how to dress corporately, even from the university before he or she graduates there. So that is on that part. On the part of the school, maybe Senate, taking a decision like the ban on sign out, and the students will have to be communicated like they have, before the registrar released his circular on, communicating this thing, the social media was already, everywhere a ban on sign out, ban on. So what I am doing now is to try and also use the social media platform to educate the students that, look, a university is not where you come in there and there are no rules and regulations on how you do things. The Senate has the right to decide on how we write our exams, on how we end the semester or end the session. So if the Senate is saying that at the end of your 4 years or 5 years in the university, they don't want you to go and bring loudspeakers all over and then celebrating that you are signing out by writing on your shirt, and then some people misbehaving as a result of other influence. If the Senate has taken that decision, it is now left for you, student, to look at it and see, and then look at the oath that you took when you were matriculating. Because in university, the Senate has another important program to send graduating students or those that have graduated out. That's convocation. So when students are saying that sign out is a culture that need to be preserved, I would be like, culture from where? I even asked one or two or three staff in the division here who graduated from this Taraba State University, whether they did sign out when they were graduating. They said no, they didn't know that. I can tell you that sign out is not more than 3 or 4 years that they introduced it into this university. So it's not a culture that somebody will now be saying that it must be preserved. But I try to maintain good relationship with students so that we move well. You know, sometimes they can do things that will get you angry, but after some time you just have to calm down because you know, living and taking care of large number of students like we have in Taraba State University is something that you have to be, I mean, on top of the show all the time. So the relationship is okay, there's no problem.
Okay, now let's talk about the classroom. Every teacher or every lecturer has a certain principle or a teaching philosophy that they live by. That's what guides them through their activities with students in the classroom. And despite having some of this, it's a university environment and a lot of things happen around the university. Now for you, what would you say is your own teaching philosophy, a particular principle you stand by when you relate with students in the classroom?
When you say principle, sometimes it takes someone somewhere. Principle. Well, let me just explain to you how I do if I go to class or how I teach my students. I used to make my own notes, type the notes, then come to class, then teach them, then give them this note to go and reproduce, not buying, not selling. Now, with the innovation in the social media that we are in now, I ask every class, if I am teaching 100 level, I'm teaching 200 level, I'm teaching 400 level, and then the postgraduate. I say, create a platform where I will send in the lecture note, bit by bit. I don't just jump pack it there, no. If I'm going to treat military in politics, for instance, I will send the note and I'll make sure every student on that platform is aware that yes, there is a note lying down there. Go and download it and print it because you are going to come to class with it. So when I enter the class, everybody will have to, like, you have your note with you already. So we'll continue, and along the line, I know that there are some people that are slow learners. I teach considering them more than the sharp ones. Okay? When you ask questions, you're going to know who is a fast learner and who is a slow learner. So I do go by the speed of the slow learner, so that at the end of the day, all the students in the class will have one or two things to say, yes, this man has taught us. So that's what I do. And I don't want stubbornness in class. Some people think they're in the university now, students, they think they're in the university now, so you come to class anytime you want, or you walk out anytime you want. No, not in my class. If I have lectures 7 o'clock in the morning, I give you a grace of 15 minutes. Once it is 15 minutes after 7, if you are not in class, then you will listen from me outside.
Well, thank you very much for, I would say, trying to instill discipline, even though it's a university setting and people think there are no rules. It's not secondary school.
There are rules.
Well, our dear viewers, we're still in the discussion with Associate Professor Dauda Atando, and it's been an interesting one. But at this point, we'll take a break, and then when we come back, we'll pick up the conversation from here. Please stay with us. if you're just joining us, we are still on the program Guest of the Week, and at this time we still have Associate Professor Dauda Atandu Abu with us, and we have been having an interesting conversation with the Associate Professor before we went on the break, and now we're back. We're going to pick it right from here. So welcome back again,
Thank you.
Doctor.
Thank you.
So let's start from this. As an academic over the years, many years,
Yeah.
what would you say is the most fulfilling part of your job?
I get very, very happy when I see those students that come in 100 level. You see them, they are not, they don't look. I used to keep their pictures so that I show them when they are graduating. Refining students from the villages, they come around, they don't look clean, but when they are about to graduate, you see them very clean, including what they have upstairs. I always feel happy that I have contributed in changing this person from, what used to be before to a better person. Now, if I have graduated, I have supervised up to 12 master students. They have their master's degree already now. My joy has always been the day of the exit defense. I will sit, my candidate will be doing the presentation, and then at the end of the day, the external examiner will you have done well, congratulations. I feel good. I have done something yes, I have produced this person, I have produced this. So I feel fulfilled anytime I graduate students, both undergraduate and postgraduate level.
I can imagine your excitement because I would say at some point you were an acting head of department at the Department of Mass Communication.
Yes.
And I happened to be a student then.
Okay.
Then I was, well, I had hoped that you would be head of department until I had graduated, but I think you left before we happened to graduate. So, as an academic and on the rank of an associate professor, if you had one opportunity to reform a particular aspect of Nigerian university system, what aspect would that be and why? If
you look at what ASU has been yearning for year in, year out, is that the university system generally is not up to standard. When you talk about the environment for research. Now, if I have my way, university like Taraba State University, we need things, modern equipments that will encourage research, like the internet connectivity. Am I communicating? You see, a student can sit in his or her room and get some of these materials online and then use it. But when you come to in Nigeria particularly, the government don't care about these facilities. Government doesn't care about. They just feel like, man, we have created a university. We've established university. The rest is left for the management and the students to know how to do it. So if I have my way, I will try and improve on these facilities that will make learning very interesting to students and to the lecturers who are also into research almost every day. Before we wind down, I would like to ask this. The standard of education in Nigeria is one thing that has bothered a lot of people. And like you said, there's not much effort being put into the academia to see that we improve the standard of education. And that's why we see a lot of graduates out there who appear like the school has not passed through them, even though degrees are awarded based on character and learning. Now, what is your take on the standard of education in Taraba State University? I'm asking this because you're the dean and you have direct dealings with the students. Yeah, the standard of education in Taraba State University is not low. It is until when you see the caliber of students that have graduated from Taraba State University and where they are working that you understand that they came into a university where the ones that were serious went away with what the lecturers gave them. Well, I can just, let me just use an example. Tageman, Simon Tageman, he graduated here first class in mass communication. He has gone for PhD, has graduated. I mean, he has finished his PhD to the extent of even going outside the country. Now, if you take a look at this type of people, we have so many of them in the military. I went to Yola. I was to board, is it Ariko, to Abuja. And then somebody greeted me when I was boarding. So I was looking at him and said, you don't remember me again. That you taught me peace and culture. I was like, God. And here you are working in the airport. You understand? So we have, our standard of education is not too low. It's not low. But we will not say that if the standard of education is high, because we are now going to be comparing with the outside world, like Texas, I mean, what do you call it, Oxford University. Within the country, they will tell you that ABU is this, ABU is that, all this thing. But then, we're coming up. This is a young university. I give kudos to the management and the Senate and the council of the university and even the government for trying. You see, first, once you instill discipline among students, then learning will be very interesting. They will all want to learn. We have a period in this university that social activities were considered more important than academic activities. Miss this, miss that, pageantry here, pageantry within the university. So, but now everybody is trying to learn and relearn and learn again, both students and the staff. So the standard of education in Taraba State University, as far as I'm concerned, is growing and is going to get to the best.
Thank you very much. While we're winding down now, outside of the classroom, outside of this office, outside of the entire school environment, and outside research as well, because I know you do that at home, how do you relax and unwind after a long day, at work?
My PhD thesis is about leisure and entertainment. And in my findings, it is very clear that when after a long walk, a long hours of walk, and you try to relax, maybe listening to music or playing games or watching film or these leisure things I'm talking about. In fact, in my studies, going to beer parlor is also leisure. But religion will always say no, yes. Keep that aside. But when you find your friends and you are relaxed and you people are talking, you are not, you see, something is not bothering you much that I want to achieve this or I want to achieve that. You are concentrated. No, you are relaxed. You're just discussing. Sometimes you say, oh boy, you remember when we were in JS2? They will bring up something, we'll start laughing. That one will relax you. And I always like to go out, meet friends, and then relax. But you see this position, this office, Dean of Student Affairs. Sometimes you are just getting to where your friends are. You want to sit down. There's going to be a call either from the Vice Chancellor or from the hall officers or from the senators, the student senators, that there's a problem in hostel. This student, you have to run back. If you don't come back, if anything happens, you are going to be held responsible. So maybe when my tenure expires and I leave, I'll be able to relax more.
And unwind completely.
Unwind completely, yes.
Okay, so lastly, what do you have to say to young academics, people who are aspiring to venture into lecturing? Because I understand this is not a lazy man's job. I honestly do not envy you. What do you have to say to this
Yes,
kind of
just
people?
just like you said, it's not a lazy man's job. That's one. Two, it's not where you think you are coming to make money. If you're outside there, you see me. Yeah, a lecturer always in our own generation, lecturers dress fine. We're looking for money to even say how maybe we'll buy a good ride. But it's not lecturing job is where you instill discipline, you teach people. It's not where you are going to make money. You cannot be, in fact, just take it like that. So if you're coming in to mold minds, to make people understand that look, life is not all about money, 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 but how do you relate with somebody? What do you do to your society? This is what we are telling young lecturers that are coming up. That you are going to do research. You will. In fact, sometimes you will go to some villages that you don't imagine because you want to go and get data. So these are my advice to you.
Well, I would say it has been a very fruitful conversation with you, Doctor. So thank you so much for joining us, Doctor. It has been a very fruitful deliberation. Thanks for letting us into your lives. And we hope that the next time you will be on this show, we would be talking to you as someone, in a higher position, in a different rank, and then we can begin to delve into conversations of how you have been able to leave this place and get there eventually.
Yeah.
And to our dear viewers, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. We do hope that you have enjoyed yourself and you will join us again next week on the same program at this particular time. I am Christiana Babayo, your host. Thank you so much for joining us. See you next time.